Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I'm George. We're all George. So tonight, I'm going to talk about a billion reasons, over a billion reasons, to be in Bitcoin and crypto. What to expect. I discovered something that was quite interesting, so I wanted to share with you guys and overall talk about what to expect. So, let's do this. Welcome, guys. Hopefully you're doing fine tonight. Well, Bitcoin has not moved. 22.5, right? And the U.S. market also didn't really move. And that's because people are waiting for this guy right here. Fed Powell heads to Capitol Hill this week. And he's going to have his hands full. I mean, that is what everyone is waiting for, right? Everyone wants to see what he's going to say tomorrow and Wednesday about the U.S. economy, right? How does he feel? Is the economic data good or bad? Is he going to be hawkish or not? What is the Fed going to do? That's the reason why it seems like right now there is a standstill, right? But there is definitely someone or a group of people that is preparing. Because take a look at this. I was on CryptoQuant, and let me close my camera here, right? What you see right there is number of stable coins flowing into the exchanges. Right there, that big green point right here, okay? That's 1.4 billion, okay? And this is net flow. This is not like coming in and out. That's just net flow. 1.4 billion that were moved into the exchanges, various stable coins, into all the exchanges, right? And why do you think this was done? Well, someone or a group of people are definitely getting ready, right? Are they expecting something? Or maybe not expecting something and getting ready to buy, but that is an enormous amount that has flowed into the exchanges, okay? Keep in mind, this is stablecoins. This is not like Bitcoin flowing in. If that happened, then you would think it's because someone wants to dump. No, this is stablecoins coming in. And why would stablecoins be coming into exchanges? Well, obviously, to be used to purchase crypto, right? So this is very, very interesting. 1.4 billion that has flowed into the exchanges waiting, right? Could it be because of Powell and what he's going to say, and they're waiting to see what he's going to say, right? Or are they waiting for something else? But I do think this is very, very significant. And then you compound that with this. The futures, leverage, right? There's a lot of leverage plays. A lot of people play with leverage, very dangerous leverage levels. But right now the funding rate is in red. That means it's actually there's actually a premium on the shorter side. There's more people shorting right now than playing the long game with these leverage future contracts. So what does that mean? Well, they better get ready, because if that 1.3 billion gets injected and then you have massive price appreciation, then you're going to have a massive amount of short liquidations that will compound things and make things go even crazier, right? So that could be brewing right around the corner, right? We don't know. Is it coming this week, next week? We just don't know at this point. But I do know this. That's an enormous amount of money that flew into the exchanges. And then you have a lot of shorters right now, right? Makes for a pretty good short squeeze, if you ask me. So that is 1.4 billion reasons why you should be in Bitcoin and crypto. It's very exciting. But besides those things, right? Obviously, there's a lot of great charts like this that also show that Bitcoin is getting ready to pop. Here's one measuring 2012, 2015, 2019, 2023. Okay, this is over the span of Bitcoin's entire life. the LMACD indicator, this cross, okay, on a 3-week time frame. And this is the signal. This is the signal when a bull run started. So many people feel like the bull run is basically after the halving event. Yeah, I would say that's like the tail end of it. But you got to figure, where does the bull run actually start? It pretty much off the bottom, right? Off its bottom, and then you're in recovery mode. Technically, that's the start of the bull run. And right now, that's what it's looking like. There will still be more volatility, but it does look like this is the start of that bull run, or at least a path to recovery, right? So there's a lot of charts like that. And of course, has a lot to do with the halving event. 71% in till the next one. And again, every time we get to this point is generally the bottom and when the bull run starts, right? Yes. And of course, what helps this case is the percent of supply last active, basically a number of Bitcoins being held, right? Very, very, very high. Very high indeed. And again, if you happen to glance the last 2 times, right, this was measured at its peak, like around the 61.28 mark. That was very high, right? That was when Bitcoin shot up from $100 and something up to $20,000, okay? And then you go back and you go look at the 63.45 mark. That was actually when Bitcoin was around 6,000. And then it headed towards 69,000, all right? And then look at where we are now, 67.72%. There's more holders now, more Bitcoin being held now than the previous cycles by a lot, compared to 63% and 61%, right? But every time this happens, when Bitcoin hits a critical mass, basically, of holders and a number of Bitcoin being held, what happens? That's when a massive run starts, right? So again, all these things are indicating we are definitely in recovery. You could argue that we have already started the next bull run, right? And man, it's going to be wild. It's going to be wild when we really start moving, right? So this is also very interesting. So that's what I want to talk about with Bitcoin. Now, as for other things, well, what's leading the way with just dApps in general? I saw this article. According to dApp Radar, basically games make up half of the blockchain activity. That means as abundant, DeFi, as abundant as it seems, it's only taking half. The other half taken up by gamers, right? Games and gamers, and there's just a lot of stuff. Even though the games in the Web 3.0 space is still scarce, not that many enjoyable games, according to hardcore gamers, but there are still a lot of games out there. And of course, one of the leading companies in the space for games obviously has to be Gala. So there's a lot of stuff happening at Gala. Gala is still way off from their highs, but recently they have a little recovery. And then I decided to look at their presentation, like their slide deck of what's coming in 2023. And there's a few interesting things that I found about Gala. Number one, they have committed $300 million to game projects. 50% has been deployed, which means there's still $150 million left to go, right? That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. And if you scroll down a little bit more, you'll see that their most popular game, Townstar, it's being upgraded. Townstar kind of led the way for Gala, but they have a ton of other games. But still, they're not giving up on Townstar. There's a lot of new things coming up in Q2, which will bring social functions, NFT level ups, microtransactions, and more, right? So they are continuously expanding what they have already, right? And then they have their other games, Spider Tanks, which is now exploding as well, right? And then they're getting into music. They already have 32 artists, and they plan on bringing on more, right? I mean, so they're not just involved with games, but just entire Web 3.0 space with music, and not only that, with also film too. They want to get into film, and there's 6 months left until a full platform launch, and 10 titles set to come out with Gala Film in 2023. So they are definitely ambitious. They definitely have a lot of things going on, but they're mainly games. But now they want to concentrate on films, also music. They just want to be all over the place. And it does seem like they still have the bank and the resources to make all of these things happen, right? Plus, not only that, they are also getting involved with gaming, right? Mobile games. There's 15 mobile games that are coming up with 20 million existing players, and that's because they purchased a game maker, and pretty soon some of these games will be available, and they will be riding on top of Gala's blockchain, right? So not only are they getting into gaming, but really heavy push into mobile gaming, which many people feel will truly bring adoption to Web 3.0 games, right? But besides those things, films, and music. So Gala definitely has a lot of stuff coming up. Now, besides Gala, the one other guy I want to mention is Polygon. And, I talk about Polygon a lot, mostly because ZK EVM, they will be able to scale basically smart contracts. They have a lot of NFTs and brands partner up already, but a lot of people don't associate Polygon with gaming, but they are into gaming. In fact, the Gamers Developer Conference states that Gala and Matic are both top partners, right? And that's because Polygon also has a lot of dApp makers, including one that's called GameShift. GameSwift. And if you look at it, they already have a ton of games. Kind of look like Gala's platform, but they are a gaming platform. And this is on top of Polygon right now, right? And there's many others that's on top of Polygon too. So there's a lot of games. My point is there's a lot of games. I do feel like Gala's platform is definitely leading the way, but you can't ignore all these other ones that exist on other chains, such as Polygon, which has a ton of potential too. So interesting. And also, speaking of games, but not only games, what about metaverses, right? Decentraland is going to have their Fashion Week 2.0. We haven't heard a lot about Decentraland, but they had Fashion Week 1 last year, but this year they're going to have a lot of brands showcasing their stuff inside Decentraland once again. Adidas, and then you have others like Tommy Hilfiger, and I'm sure there's many others that will be showcasing their stuff inside the metaverse, right? So things are starting to pick up once again. And if you're thinking, well, I still prefer physical things over digital things, well, Amazon has you covered. This is also huge. Amazon said they will be offering NFTs, but they will be tied to real-world assets, not just digital. They will sell digital along with something physical, right? So if they offer some kind of exclusive, I don't know, I'm just going to throw this out there, some kind of exclusive Amazon Prime membership where, I don't know, lifetime access if you own the NFT, right? Maybe they will include it with something like a Amazon Prime device or something like that, or Amazon device. That's probably a bad example, but I picture like maybe if you purchase a digital NFT of pair of shoes, right? You actually get the physical shoes with the NFT shoes, something like that, right? But Amazon wants to get in, and people are speculating which blockchain is this on top of? Is it Avalanche because they formed a big partnership with Avalanche recently, or is it Polygon, right? Obvious choice would be Polygon, but it could be on top of Avalanche, or maybe on top of something else. We don't know, right? But things are definitely getting exciting once again, right? So a lot of stuff happening. All right, that's what I want to cover tonight. Let's do some Q&A. All right, let me scroll through here. Let's see. Claiborne Taylor says, literally a Lambo dealership going up across the street from my house. Is that good or bad? Does that give you motivation to keep going? Maybe. Maybe. And then someone says, Lambos are not that impressive in person. I think they're still pretty impressive. Let's see. Big meeting tomorrow with Congress. Yep, that is Powell. Right? Powell is going to say whatever he's going to say. Juice. I appreciate that. Thanks for checking. Who actually plays mobile games? Are you serious? There's a ton of people that plays mobile games. A ton. Even Candy Crush. I don't know how many people play Candy Crush anymore, but man, that was an addictive game. Harvey says, remember I said Gary posturing to throw a bomb at CZ? No, and I don't know what you mean by that. Slick Rick. Okay. Binance bans staking and flexible savings for UK and Australia. I could see that. The other regulators are basically copying Gary at this point. I mean, they don't know what to do, so they just think Gary knows what he's doing. So I'm pretty sure they're like, okay, if Gary says that, let's just follow him. I'm pretty sure I looked into Proton. Wasn't too awfully impressed. Tensor is a decentralized AI. Yeah. No, never heard of it, Christian. You know, AI is a buzzword. It's overplayed. And there's not that many useful AI systems, okay? The reason why ChatGPT seems like it's out of this world is because it's its language models unlike anything else. Like, you could actually communicate with it, right? But generally speaking, there's a lot of AI that's been around for a while. Machine learning, machine guessing, just processing a whole lot of data, right? But you have to make it usable for users. Otherwise, people don't really care about it. BitTensor. Never even heard of this project. The volume is extremely low, yet the market cap is this high. I don't know. That seems a little iffy. No project with this kind of market cap should have volume that low. And it's only on MACD. Yeah, I'm going to say that that's highly suspicious. And it's just a giant ball of nothingness. All right, I guess I'll look into it, but there's something strange there. It's not listed on any DEXs, not even Uniswap. That's weird. Thoughts on Sandbox for next bull run? I like Sandbox more than Decentraland. I just talked about this fashion week on Decentraland, but I think Sandbox has more potential because it's more like a game, so people could actually do something with it and play with it, do missions, right? Decentraland doesn't seem like it has anything. I don't know. Decentraland just seems like it's actually a virtual world where Sandbox is more like a game, you know? So Another George. I watch your videos every day while driving a semi. Do you want to drive the Tesla semi? I do. YouTube Premium has a premium feature to listen to videos. You know, I've been too cheap to sign up to YouTube Premium, but I may do that. You know, it pops up every time I open up YouTube. Gary's an extension of FTX and SBF. SBF is still in Gary's pocket, and Gary owes SBF. He will not quit until he puts Binance out or SBF expose them. Yes and no and no and yes. I don't necessarily disagree with you, but hard to prove. Hard to prove. YouTube Premium is the best money I spend every month. I see it advertised all the time. I should really get it. Do you think Gensler and SBF will continue to romance the big house? I don't know. I think Gensler, one thing I do know for sure about Gensler is after he was embarrassed by FTX, that's when he started really attacking everything. There was another article I didn't even show you guys about Voyager and the judge basically saying SEC needs to stop attacking Voyager. SEC is trying to sue the lawyers in a bankruptcy hearing right now, right? Because they're claiming the Voyager lawyers are helping a security being sold to Binance. Like, it's something really ridiculous. And the judge is just, he had enough with it and said, you know what, we're not going to allow that to happen. It's costing the firm like $13 million a month just to fight the SEC, right? You know, Gary's just going all out. And it could be based on what Harvey says. Just basically he wants Binance to fail, but he's going after everything. Staking, stablecoins, right? Binance. It's just going after everything. So, yeah, he you know, he needs to be put in check right now. And unfortunately, a lot of other SEC heads or chairs are following his footsteps. Yeah, and I might go live stream pickleball. No, because I don't want to embarrass myself. I made my live stream me shooting some baskets, but that's about it. MK, I have done it on Chromia before. If you scroll back far enough, I have talked about them. My Neighbor Alice was supposed to be the next, whatever that popular game is on Switch, but they really didn't live up to the hype. So I know about them, and they have a few other dApps that are not just based on the game, but never really took off. They still have a chance, but you know, they never took off. My Neighbor Alice was hyped up to the moon before it came out. Chromia was pumping like crazy. Alice tokens were also pumping like crazy, but afterward just died down. Teresa, continue to buy the dip via DCA. My goal is to pay off the rest of my mortgage first, then continue my travels. This time flying first class, of course. Congrats. Congrats. You should do a stream that goes all day. I have done that one time. I tried before, and after like an hour, there was just no point to it. No one is talking. You know, that's why I don't know how some Twitch streamers do it. You literally have someone that's streaming like for 8 hours straight, and it's usually these girls that are dressed really skimpy, right? And they would chat, play little games, and then they just leave for like 2 hours, and then they come back, and then they're just eating in front of the computer, not saying anything, and then they leave again, you know, and then people are just continue to watch them making comments. Like, I'm like, dude, do you guys not have a life? But that happens on Twitch all the time. I don't get how these people could stream like 8 hours a day. It's nuts. It's nuts. Do you have any long-term bags 10 plus years or more? No, I haven't been in the space, did you, for 10 years. So, no, I can't say I do. But my longest bag has to be, of course, Bitcoin. What's your experience with airdrops? I just get it. Most of the stuff that I've gotten are garbage, so don't really think about it. Heard a bit. Someone just added about Decentraland. Run by executive from Ripple, I have no idea. Someone just asked about it. Is someone talking about it? Is that why people are talking about it? I just looked at it. It was a whole bunch of nothing on their webpage. I didn't look at the white paper or anything, but it's suspicious how high their market cap is relative to their volume. And they're only on one exchange, MEXC. No DEXs, no other exchanges. Seems kind of weird. But I'll look into it. I got laid off in October. Just landed my dream job today. It has nothing to do with crypto, but I'm so happy. Congrats. You know, unfortunately, I've been hearing a lot of people around me getting laid off. White-collar guys making a lot of money, and IT companies and just companies in general are firing or laying off their high-paid employees. So hopefully you guys are not affected. We've been hearing a lot about Powell saying that he wants to see the job market become weaker, right? But still, it's never fun to get laid off. And unfortunately, I'm hearing a lot of it recently. So hopefully you guys get through this, are not affected by the cuts, and prosper with this next bull run. Corvette looks a lot like the Lambo. Far away, yes. Side profile looks awesome. Back, not so much like a Lambo. Front, kind of, but from far away, as it's approaching, it definitely looks like an exotic car. Classic IT guy says customers putting off server and PC upgrades. Yeah, I definitely think there's a slowdown of many things, right? Makes sense. A lot of uncertainty. Companies don't know what to expect, right? They're preparing for the worst. Do you think 3 BTC and 20 ETH could get me close to 7 figures this bull run? It seems impossible. No, I think it's very possible. I think it's very possible. 3 BTC could get you, net you 750,000 already if each BTC had 250,000. So think about that. So I think it's possible. Do I think it's likely? No. But is there a chance? Yes. I would say like halfway there, like 500,000 with what you have. I would say that is very likely. But who knows? This next bull run could be very different. We could have more money flowing in than ever before. So who knows? We could shatter through previous expectations. I really have no opinion on that, Don. I just know pay it at some point. I'm not a tax expert, so I just know that you should pay it, because eventually you go want to spend that money, and you eventually, you know, it could catch up to you if you don't. $12-fold NFT sold for 7 BTC today. That's a lot of BTC, but I think it's worth it. In the future, each one could be worth so much more. Ren. Not a fan of Ren. I've never been a fan of Ren. Powering a multi-chain or open and community-driven protocol that enables the movement of value between blockchains. So this is like kind of like a bridge. How I see it is like a bridge, and then you can use it to move liquidity around, right? Basically by wrapping things. I don't know. Not a fan. Just not something I'm interested in. Yeah, my stream just got cut off by Gary. He doesn't like what I'm saying about him. MK, I'll pay attention, but I did read upon their relational blockchain. It's like a blockchain based on like a database, right? They could have a game like COD on a blockchain on chain, but will they? And will anyone play it? That's the question. There's a lot of chains out there that may not be a relational chain, but they are highly scalable, but they're not being used. Just because they can scale does not mean anything. It's hard to get users and adoption and dApps to come aboard. Yeah. Relatively small at this point. They were at $1.30 before, so basically maybe even more. They still have to go up 10x to get back to their previous highs. So that's something to look forward to. What portion do you refuse to sell? Won't sell BTC? I don't know. I'm not really selling anything at this point, so yeah. So there's nothing. Measurable data token. Yeah, I'm not going to look at that because it's pumped up by 34%. Here's the thing, okay, guys? Just because something pumps up 34% or 100% or 80%, right, does not necessarily mean that it's great. It could just be because it's pumped. That's it. And sometimes there's no rhyme or reason other than, like a whale or a group that's trying to pump it, right? So just because something pumps up doesn't mean that it's great, especially one that's very low cap like that. So you got to give it time and do your research. Which AI projects do you like? To be honest, I don't like any of them. I've been covering them, but, it's all speculation at this point. All the AI projects in the crypto space are just too early. They've been around for years, haven't really changed. They got the bump recently because of an excitement over ChatGPT, but nothing has really changed with any of the AI project that exists right now. So I'm neutral on all of them. How to stake from Ledger on some of these coins? You cannot, Diamondback. There are a lot that you just can't stake from Ledger. You have to stake from their own native wallet or from a different wallet. That's just how it is. Unfortunately, you don't have one wallet that supports every single chain out there. It just doesn't exist. So you have to use multiple wallets to be able to do that. Do I still like BPro? No, I do not. Because the founders left. The company got bought out by someone else, and they're no longer the same company. So, unfortunately, no. I need you back playing World of Warcraft. There are too many crypto references and none of my WoW friends under. Why would there be crypto references in World of Warcraft? I don't quite get that. I don't know. Okay. I don't know why that is. All right, guys. Let's call it a night. 1 billion plus reasons to be in Bitcoin. I know this is cut off right now, but right there. 1.4 billion stablecoins flew into exchanges recently. Preparing, waiting to be injected into the market. Could be happening right after Powell gives his testimony, right? Shares his thoughts, or maybe it's coming afterwards. Who knows? Who knows, right? But there is a lot of money and there's a lot of excitement. There's a lot of stuff happening in Bitcoin. So it's an exciting time to be in it. And plus, outside of Bitcoin, a lot of exciting games that's also in the space. A lot of exciting games coming up. A lot of stuff overall in general. Good stuff. All right, guys. Smash it a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.